Yo, what's up? This is Rue, aka the Culture Black Kid, and this is Rue and Friends, here to break down the latest of the releases within the Australian scene. Today, we are going to review Between Two Worlds, the latest release by British Caribbean R&B artist, singer, songwriter Chanel Loren. This is her debut EP. It's been a long time coming, but it's finally here. And the show is called Rue and Friends, so of course I had to bring my friends. Please introduce yourself and what you do.
Thanks so much, Drew. My name's Ben. I'm a Melbourne-based music journalist. Write about music, write about hip hop, R&B, pop, all that sort of thing. I'm also a long-suffering Essendon fan, but we don't want to talk about that
Yeah,
today. Something much more positive.
yeah, we're not gonna get we're not gonna
No,
get.
let's not get into that. Let's keep the vibes up.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Between Two Worlds, Chanel Loren. Give me your overall thoughts, one sentence overview of your thoughts on the project.
I enjoyed it. I think it's a project that people should check out. I think it is a good encapsulation of kind of where the Australian R&B scene is as a whole. And I think it brings together her backgrounds of being in England and then being in Australia. I think it brings the sounds from both of those two scenes together quite well.
Mhm. I agree. I agree. I think this is a nice culmination of a few years, even probably pre-playlist era Chanel that I haven't personally heard, but I'm sure they're somewhere in the vault. It's a nice, small collection of what this journey has finally reached for Chanel. And I feel like each of the songs reflect, what I know of Chanel's personality really, really well. But obviously we'll get more into the specifics now. So let's kick it off with the pros. Um, what are some pros of this project that you enjoyed?
I think Chanel's voice is a standout. I think it's really strong across all six tracks.
Mhm.
I really like the variety in the production. I think there are some quite light, like airy moments, and then some moments with a little bit more of a kick. I just think it's a fun project. I wouldn't say that it's kind of genre breaking or like shattering any boundaries, but I think as first projects go, this is a really strong representation of Chanel's music. And it's something that I think suits like a variety of environments as well, which isn't always easy to do on an EP.
For sure, for sure. And especially when you have, a variety of um genres, it can sometimes, feel like it's jumping all over the place, but having again, a variety of genres, but still staying consistent in just a sonic anchor point, be that maybe just Chanel's performance on the tracks or maybe topically um, allows it to really, you know, sit within this one lane that's like, okay, cool, gives you enough, but it still feels consistent. Again, I
Yeah.
feel like I was, repeating myself, but I
Well,
think I think that makes the most sense. I do agree. I did like the diversity in styles. I feel like in comparison to the singles, not the singles leading up, but just the single she dropped in 2022, be that playlist Fall for You, I think it was called, Rollin', some other time, Disappear. Like they all were very consistent in that R&B, a little kind of darker in the tone of it. But you use the word fun, and it's such a simple word, but it's true. Like if there's one word to summarize this project as, it's fun. Was there any standout songs that really honed in, those pros for you?
I really liked Ring Ring. I think that's got a bit of an edge to it that really kind of sells the project. I think you listen to Zone and Carelessly Doomed, and it's fun. Like I thought those songs back to back really work really well. I would have probably struggled to hook in as much to a project if it did sound like that the whole way through. I think Ring Ring kind of shows that different side to Chanel's personality, and kind of to me that and Bubble Wrap are the standouts from the project.
Sure, for sure. I do agree with Ring Ring. Hearing Chanel dip into a more of a hip hop bag with some like late 90s like East Coast production with the bass line and a bit more like talking shit, like
Yep.
in that sort of sense. Again, in the hip hop sense, it's like, oh, okay, cool. And it comes, like you said, at a nice place where it breaks up the style of the project a little bit, where it's like, okay, cool. I'm still engaged. Um,
Yes.
I do agree. I love Carelessly Doomed. That's currently in my top 10 R&B songs of the year, even though, it's not strictly R&B. But I really enjoy that song. Again, super bubbly. I think Coda does really well on the feature. Um, Fits the song really nice. Zone, again, nice opener. And then yeah, bubble wrap. But I was thinking about this, and um, bubble wrap isn't one of my it no, it is one of my favorites. I do like, I don't know. I got such a weird relationship with bubble wrap, actually. I feel like I'm just contradicting myself, but it's fine. I love how playful and how endearing bubble wrap is as a song. It's one that, you just listen and you're like, da 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 da, or you watch her perform it. And it's like, okay, this is super fun. But then it's one of those songs, which I guess, as I transition into a little bit more cons, where I guess if you sit down too much with it, as much as I do like the concept of it, I'm like, okay, the verses aren't as strong as maybe some other songs. Um, Maybe flow wise,
Yeah.
again, I'm being super nitpicky. I was really struggling to find to find cons on this, but I'm like, oh, maybe I'll write that just to why not? Why not just to nitpick at something? Um, and then I do really enjoy Old Fruit. It's just on the last one that I'd press play on. But again, that's not a con. That's just um
Preference.
personal preference. I'd click play on the other ones first, more before Old Fruit. But I still love the vibe that Old Fruit brings. Super jazzy, super yeah. But do you have any cons for the project?
I think the one con for me, and this is a very unfair one, but I'm not like the code of the friend feature is fine. I thought he did a great job. I would love to have seen an Australian artist in that spot just to like bring it home a little bit more. It just feels like a little bit of a disjointed feature, given how cohesive the rest of the project is and how I feel like the rest of the project, she's worked with Australian producers like Xavier Dunn and Jujo. It would
Yep.
have been cool to, and I'm trying to think of any names off the top of my head that might fit that spot, but I just think that may have sold the song a little bit more. That being said, like it's not so much of a con, just
Yeah.
something I would have personally, selfishly liked to have seen.
No, for sure, for sure. And I guess that kind of translates into like a small conversation I had with Chanel after the I interviewed her on Bruce Room, which is like, I have some remix suggestions, which was I said on Ring Ring, I thought she should get what I call the Doofins, which is Devora, Yao Does It All, and Tawanda.
Yep.
I think that would be a cool remix. And then on Old Fruit, I was like, Agnieszka would be really cool to add like some Mauritian, like even more traditional Mauritian instrumental
Yes.
bag. But I guess, if you had to, like you said, you couldn't, yeah, if you had to, who do you think you'd replace Code of the Friend with on Carelessly Doomed? If I just had to throw you on the spot
I'd
right.
love to see Zion Garcia on there.
Ooh. Interesting. Interesting.
Like,
Okay.
just like I feel like that would work. I can't quite explain it, but that's just my gut feeling. Just someone that's like a little bit more in that like laid back kind of like jazzy vibe.
Mm.
I think like and like the code of the friend feature works, but I think that might change the track a little bit up more. But also that might separate it a little bit more from Zone as a track because I felt that they flow into each other pretty
Yeah,
seamlessly.
for sure. For sure. Um, yeah. I think we didn't really touch on it. And I know we're kind of in the cons, but we didn't really there wasn't really many cons anyway. I think Ebony was a really nice closer as well. Felt super
Yep.
personal, super reflective. Yeah, I think just the way like we've talked about a number of times, the way it flows from top to bottom is nice. I don't think it needed any more songs, even though it's 16 minutes in length. I think it was succinct and to the point, um, which is really interesting. And it's funny because I haven't done the interview yet, but I haven't done the review yet, but I still want to bring it up because I'm gonna reference this one. Is It dropped around a similar time when Minor Doe's EP also dropped, which is funny because I feel like that one could have needed a couple more songs for some
Interesting.
reason. Um, Even though it's a similar length, but and then I'm like, okay, but maybe it's this like the single, like maybe it was too many singles, but this one had 4 singles from the project out of the 6 songs. So I'm like, I'm really trying to rack in my brain why this one feels the perfect length, but the Minor Doe feels like there was more that could be said. But I don't know. That's just I'm just speaking out loud at this point. Um, I'm not sure if you have any thoughts on that, but um,
I think this is something that I notice about Australian artists in general, though. I think the rollout plan will often be like 3 to 4 singles for a 6 or 7 song project, which is the case overseas as well. But I think if those songs like feel pretty seamless within the track list, then it feels complete. But if they stand out a little bit more, like if there was one song on here that we were in agreement was the standout track among the rest, it would feel a little bit shorter because you want more quality.
yeah,
But here, I feel like it all flows into each other quite well. So you're not walking away feeling like you haven't heard some variety, you haven't heard like Chanel's personality. You get a real sense of what she's able to deliver. Like
yeah,
in all honesty, if someone's able to do that in 3 songs, then do it in 3 songs.
yeah,
You're able to, if you want to do it in 6 songs, do it in six. Some artists take 20 songs to kind of express what they want to express. But I do get you. Sometimes you feel like, oh, well, I've already heard so much of this. There's not much more being said.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So I don't know. Again, that's a personal preference, or not personal preference, personal observation that I've noted. But I haven't done the review for the Minor yet. Maybe it might change between now and when I finally do that. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to wrap up the Chanel one. So let's get into our overall thoughts. So just to remind you and the people out there, here is the ranking system. So it is I am here for this. It depends on the day whether I'm here for this or not. Or unfortunately, I am not here for this. So as the homie, as the friend on this, Ben, what would you say for your overall thought?
I'm here for this. I think it's a very fun project. I think it's going to be one of the strongest Australian R&B releases of the year. I I enjoyed it. I think it's very fun. I think the length kind of lends itself to repeated listens. Yeah, like I just enjoyed it. You feel a little bit lighter listening to it. It's yeah, definitely here for this.
Definitely, definitely. And I concur. I am also here for this. But let me know what you guys out there think. Are you here for this? Is this not really for you? Make sure you let me know. And yeah, that is the end of our review of Chanel Loren's Between Two Worlds. Thank you, Ben, so much for coming on.
Thanks for having
Um,
me.
where can the people find you? What can they look out for anytime in the near future?
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ben Madden Writer and follow my newsletter at benmadden.substack.com.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, I'll catch you next time. Once again, I am Ru, aka the Culture Black Kid, Ben Madden. But yeah, peace.